Yo, kings and queens, peep the message, right? Your energy is literally everything, especially as a man, right? Let me bring a little something for the guys, right? As someone who had to muscle through this whole thing, had to figure it all out, build a body from scratch, build my consciousness from scratch, and everything had to get built from scratch, right? I've made all the mistakes, so you don't have to make any. I will literally spill all of this information. The real elite stuff is going to be on the Patreon. If you really want to send your life in a, I'm not talking purely just monetarily. I'm not talking just like get women and get money, bro. That's surface level stuff. I'm really talking about growing in spirit, really figuring out who and what you are, implementing certain practices which are going to literally change the whole trajectory of your life, way beyond what you thought was even possible. It's all on the Patreon. Go check it out. You select a tier which resonates with you. Let's make moves. Young guys, right? Young kings, peep this, right? Your energy as a man is literally what people are bouncing off of. Let's say, for instance, you've just started a business, right? I've got my own business, and my job, not only am I tracking people's progress, not only am I building certain plans for people, in order for me to even make that a reality, I need to first bring that person into my world. How am I going to bring that person into my world if I am off, if I am shaky? I need to go and present my offer, right? It all starts with you. It all starts with the person in the mirror. I can't expect my business to flourish, and I can't expect people to be attracted to me if I myself am not grounded and rooted in any sense of like really a solid foundation, and not only energy, not only intellect, not only knowledge of what I'm doing, but really, people can sense when you're not grounded. People can sense when there's an element of you which is a little bit off, and that puts people off straight away because look, there's thousands and thousands of people doing the same thing. So people are always going to opt for the best. When you go and buy stuff from Amazon, do you go for third or fourth best? No, you go for the best or second best. And that's always the way it is. That's why you've got to make sure as a man that whatever it is that you want to do, right, you've got strong, powerful energy, and you're also the best at what it is that you do. Like, I'm literally the best at what I do. No one can top me as a trainer, boy. No one. Every time I go and work, when I used to work personal training jobs, it's competition, right? You're out on the floor. You've got 10, 20 other PTs who see the very same client, right? And it could be their client. But when I pull up, people want me because I make everyone look bad. I put everyone else to shame. Why? Not because I'm a cocky prick. I don't do it intentionally. It just so happens that I built my body way better than everyone else. I can articulate my message way better than everyone else. My teaching skills are way better than everyone else's. So it just so happens to be the fact that I put the most work in, and therefore the fruits of your labor will come in time. Stop this whole rush. Really build mastery. Mastery is not built in a year or two. Mastery is built 5, 10, 15 years. And why is everyone in such a rush to have it all figured out? Like, you've got to remember, a lot of this stuff is societal programming to keep you on that perpetual loop of trying to prove something to someone, which means going to get a job which you don't really like, which means buying a car and finance you can hardly afford, which means buying a bunch of clothes that you don't really need. These are all the mechanisms of control that the ruling hand use to keep you not only rooted in the ego, but constantly in a state of, what am I doing? Where am I at? Am I as good as the person who's the same age as me? Or have I attained the same amount of accolades as the people in my age group? That's what's killing you, people. That's what's really killing you, because once you've built up a strong amount of energy, like as a man especially, like you don't need to peep the fact that sexual energy is immensely powerful. Sexual energy is the reason I'm sitting right here. Sexual energy is the reason you're watching this video. Your father ejaculated into your mother. I know it sounds brutal, but that's just the way it is. Like, I gotta spit it to you raw. Like, sexual energy is the reason you're here. So that means that ejaculate isn't just something you should be busting to porn 24/7. That's your essence, boy. That's your masculinity. It's your radiance, your poise, your composure, all of that. And not only on top of that, right? It's your aura. People, look, I literally just finished my workout and I was walking past the gym that I've got 2 gyms, right? There's a gym that I train at and there's a gym where I train clients, right? My home gym where I train clients, like these are my bros, right? For years. I literally just walk past, my bros open the door, literally people just like swarms of people come to me. Why? Is because my energy is strong. If I was to walk up with no energy, people are going to reciprocate that which they feel and see within you. So it's not necessarily that people are inherently treating you a certain way. It's the way in which you're treating yourself that people will reciprocate naturally. Because this is, like I said, all one big game of non-linear metaphysical energy. It's the formless that powers the form. Like this, let me explain that to you a little bit more, because a lot of people might not really get what I said. Like, this is a physical vessel, right? This is form, right? This is physical form. But what's powering this vessel? It's the formless, non-linear, conscious energy, spiritual energy, if you will, that's powering this vessel. When people die, what has left? It's the spirit, it's the spiritual energy that was powering the vessel. So it's the formless powering the form. So don't get too caught up in the form. The form is cool. The form is beautiful. It's the where people get caught out is they think that there's a difference between the formless and the form. It's one and the same. That's when you start to accept the non-dual nature of this world. That's how they've got everyone split into duality, black and white, rich versus poor. You know what I mean? Like, the list goes on and on. So like, it's one and the same. We don't have to live in a world whereby we categorize and analyze and judge and label every single thing, because that's what the ego does. It's an incessant control mechanism. It wants to control everything. It wants to know that it's secure, because the ego is literally just a survival mechanism. That's what it is. If you really want to know what the ego is, it's a survival mechanism that we inherently inhabit through this physical vessel. But you can transcend the ego. It's a state of low animal consciousness that we don't have to reside in. They want to keep us there, but you don't have to be there. So with that being said, kings, listen up, right? Your energy is immensely powerful. As a man, it's your everything. It's your opportunity. It's your ability to attract the partner that you want. It's your ability to attract the kind of clients you want, the kind of abundance you want in your life. Like, trust me, this is someone who's lived on no energy. I know what it's like to have no energy. Now I know what it's like to have an immense amount of energy, poise, power, presence, aura. That's what's beautiful about it, is because the universe has given me context on what it's like to be weak. And it's given me immense context on what it's like to feel really powerful, like a young, powerful king who can uplift other people. And I'm so grateful for that, because I feel like a lot of men they get like the physical, like the illusory sense of power, and you see what it does to them. You see that it's just completely rooted in the ego. And that tells you a lot about someone's character. When they get a certain level of power, like for instance, let's say you just hit a 50K month in business, right? You're up, you got yourself a new apartment, your house. But like, how are you going to treat people when you've attained that? That's the real sign of one's character. It's how you compose yourself once you've reached a certain level of power. And for the most part, until you transcend the ego, until you actually realize that it isn't just this that counts, you will forever be miserable, and you will forever be playing games and stuck in loops that you don't necessarily need to be in the first place. But that's how it is, You got to get tripped up 100, 200, 500 times before you wake up to the fact that, okay, cool, I don't have to be playing this game that way. Guys, listen up, yeah? Energy is everything. Your energy is everything. Heighten your vibration, clean up your diet. I will be making more specific videos on all of this, don't worry. But I just had to bring you this message because this is something that really landed to me. Just really landed right now. Guys, peace and power, love and light. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.